We got our first glimpses of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, as well as a look into Destiny 2's Warmind DLC. Is it enough to keep us entertained? I don't flipping know, man. But we're going to talk about it all right now on Inventory Full. Don't you go anywhere.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
And games. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inventory Full right here on Twitch. And if you're watching this after the fact on Popcorn Talk, thank you to the fine folks at Popcorn Talk for giving us a studio to do our silly, fun little game show. I am one of your hosts, Mark P. Donica, joined by the squad, Stacey Shuttleworth,
Hello.
as well as Nate Miller.
Squad.
Do you want me to do the Kanye, the scoop and apple? No, we could have come in on that and
We
just
should have.
hated ourselves. I have a lot.
Loathing.
We're ahead of our time.
So much.
Unadulterated loathing.
It's how he goes, whoop, scoopity whoop. One of those times, it's like, damn, Kanye.
Actually, that should Steve. Engineer Steve. We were talking
our
about
outro
how
music.
we were going to be filling out the soundboard again because we lost it a couple of weeks ago. You should put Kanye on your meme board because they're in
Yes.
Studio 2. He's got dude, like a couple of like dumb memey things that really need to carry on over here because we need it.
We should come up with a list.
We should. We meme.
If you have any meme soundboard requests, please hit us up in the chat.
Instead of a dream board, a
Yes.
meme board. Welcome to the show, everybody. Patrick is out this week, and he's actually going to be out next week. He is super busy with the Fan-Controlled Football League. You can find that on Twitter, and they've been getting a whole bunch of amazing press, and we really hope that that's successful because he's a friend of ours, and we like to see him back, but he's bloody busy.
We miss you, buddy. Stay away from elevators.
There's a gentleman, Kobayashi Pro Gamer, has a question for the man in the purple shirt. I assume that's me. Go ahead and ask it. We're going to start moving on with the show. So usually, if you're joining us for the first time, we usually start out by saying what we've been playing this weekend. In the weekend, I've only been playing Pokemon Go because the past week was absolutely ridiculous for me. I did get God of War. It is installed. I am ready to play it once the schedule starts to clear up a little bit. He said before he died, "Boy, I will be able to be able to play it." To Kobayashi Pro Gamer, whose uncle wants to know if I'm single. No. Anyway, moving on. I didn't really get to play anything this week other than Pokemon Go just because I was on the go. Hatched a couple of eggs at the Renaissance Fair. It was a nice time. What did y'all play?
I rediscovered books last week.
Oh, did you?
So you know, I played some Fortnite and some Overwatch and a very little bit of Far Cry, and that's about it.
Like actual, like not like,
no, like
books in
physical
Skyrim.
books. No, like physical books.
Okay.
I read a lot of books
See where
this
she-
week, and that's about all I did.
See where you're going with
So
this.
you know.
Interesting.
You know.
Actually, I wonder if there are people that do reading streams, like read audiobook, but they read the book. I wonder if that's a thing.
Just gonna go and read all my books.
Yeah, it's an IRL stream. It's a new type of.
Now, how does that work for things like
Are we
Saga?
talking about something like Masterpiece Theater or?
No, just a dude in a chair reading a book, or a lady in a chair reading a book.
Like reading it
With
out
the
loud?
Yeah. No, to themselves.
No, just me sitting there reading. Yeah,
I'm very keen on the fireplace concept.
I wonder if there's any copyright issues in that.
I would imagine there would be many.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, because then why would you need an audiobook if you...
If someone was gonna read it
and,
to you.
And like all of those streams are recordings. It's not like they only exist in that point in time.
I wonder. I really do wonder. I wonder if it's in the TOS or
asking
it's
for a
something that I missed.
lawsuit.
Miss Kiro saying, "Nice, I would watch." Well, maybe coming soon. Who
We're
knows?
just floating that idea, you know.
Soft floating that idea out there.
Just-
But a little bit of Overwatch from you, Nate. You were playing a lot of Overwatch this week too. Was it the event or
Yeah, I just wanted to get the new Hanzo skin.
any luck?
No.
Oh, not gonna. You gonna spend your money on?
I haven't. No, I'm not. I
Good.
absolutely cannot afford to spend money on it right now, which is good because otherwise I would.
That's how it goes
Yeah.
usually.
Well, I've abstained from a few events now, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Like I said, I like the game. I enjoy playing with friends, but also when I play it, I remember why I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to play some Overwatch today. Like it's still very much the same game. It's the same stuff, the same players, the same attitude. Yeah, so it was fun. It was nice to play since I haven't really played for a while. But I'll probably play some more tonight to try to get this skin, and then I'll probably be good for a while.
And what did you play anything else? Like League?
I had a really busy week, so I actually didn't play that many games today. This week. I played some League a little bit. I told you I played some Hearthstone. They have a new
Poor dear.
Well, they have a new expansion that came out, and there's another new PvE mode that's like basically a draft where you're fighting different bosses that have different mechanics, and they even went the extra mile to add 4 essentially new classes that have their own mechanics. So I find that a cool way to be able to interact with the new cards and stuff without having to buy any packs or anything. Plus, you can still get rewards and fill your quests for doing them. It's decently fun. I think they're going in the right direction of that. It's nice to be able to get like the card game fix without necessarily having to play people, but then also not have it be against like a really stupid AI.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also, I want to give them kudos because I've watched them as this game has rolled out, and they've done these kind of dungeon run modes. How they've gotten really good at adding interesting mechanics and giving you different ways to beat different things, because it used to just be, we'll just make the computer stupid hard, give it like overstated buffs, give it so much health, let it one shot you, whatever, things like that. And it's nice they've got more creative ways around it, so it's more fun. It's not just like, let me look online what is the one way to beat this boss.
That's cool.
Do that.
Yeah, I go back to Hearthstone every once in a while. There's back at the end of the year last year, they had a free Kobolds and Catacombs like couple of packs. I was like, I'll play a couple of rounds just to unlock those packs, and it's fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it floats your boat.
I opened up my Destiny 2, but I didn't do anything. I ran around the tower and then I closed it.
I'm a little afraid to open Destiny 2 back up just to get lost.
And that's the other thing too, and it's like it's got that like MMO bloat now, where like you've missed, and it's only been like 3 or 4 patches, but still like it feels like there's so much stuff going on, and like I'm not sure exactly where to start, and it's just not. It just doesn't feel good. Like I want to play the game. I like literally turn it on and I'm like, I want to play this, but then I think about it and I'm like, nah. And the other thing is too, like the player base is so small now. I'm waiting for the expansion because it'll get a bump, and I'll jump in with all the other people that have jumped in that bought the pass and are gonna play because they've already paid for it and they might as well. Or people like you came for the last one and you played it for like 2 or 3 hours and then you're done.
Yep,
that's fine. I just want to play with some other people, because all of the people playing right now, especially the people playing Crucible, and especially the people in PvP, this is the only game that they play, and this is their game. So you step into that not warmed up, not on that level, and it's
Sacre bleu.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's rather French, it seems. But yeah, I'm interested in going back, but also now it's like, but I just got God of War, and so I kind of want to play a little bit of that. There's a whole, I haven't finished Golf Story on the Switch yet.
Oh, what a travesty.
Travesty, if we're sticking with the French theme. But something, I guess we can all touch on it just because everybody's talking about it. We all saw Infinity War this week. Just a quick basic review of what you thought of it, starting with you, Stacey.
I'm kind of glad they've kept the levity and momentum from the past 2 Marvel films, and that it carried over into Infinity Wars, and boy, we're going to have some interesting movies ahead of us.
Nate?
I thought the pacing was great. I thought the visuals were great. My biggest issue right now is with the BS marketing that we got about this being the end of Phase 3 and like all of these things happening. Yeah. When really this is all just a trailer for Part 2. I wish that they had still called it Part 1. I would have felt better about it. Like, because this movie, standing on its own, does not do very well. But like one of our wonderful producers Steven said, if you look at it as like a bookend to this long season that we've been this big story show, it's a fantastic payoff. Being able to subvert the problem that Ultron had of spending an hour setting up this villain that ultimately we still don't really care about, converse that opposite, like how long Thanos has been coming and the hints and how things that we have just heard about have played out. It was just really cool to watch that, and some of the, I think the best comic book. It's the most comic book movie I've ever seen in terms of like themes and visuals that you get in comic books that are really hard to replicate in reality and TV. Like that fight between Strange and Thanos near the end, the visuals and like the stuff that he does with the gauntlet, and there's all, and like the references are straight out of the book. Straight out of the book. So.
Yeah, I loved this movie. I had so much anxiety the week before because starting on Monday when people started to see it and being in entertainment and like seeing multiple friends of mine just like, oh, I just got out of it, I'm seeing it again tomorrow, and just be like, I have to see you in a couple of days and I trust you, but I don't trust you.
That's not enough.
Yeah, and like I was gonna see it Thursday night, and then that didn't pan out, and then I saw it on Friday, and ultimately, like, we were near the end of the line. We're like, if there aren't any good seats, we're just gonna go. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch this movie. Y'all can go. But I totally agree on some of these fights, some of the best character interactions. I really enjoyed Thanos as a character. Compared to first seeing him in Avengers 1 when he was Damien Poitier instead of Josh Brolin, to seeing him now, the effects and the look of him have made this look of Thanos iconic. And oh boy, there is a lot. There is so much, but there's so many F yeah moments. I want to see this in a theater full of nerds because I didn't. So like there were a couple of moments where I was like, yeah, nobody else in the theater.
Oh no!
Like that happened to me too.
The end
but
of
also,
the,
I think a lot of people were. I mean, this is. Are we? Is this? Are we?
I'd say no. I mean, we can do it. We can do it a spoiler next week, just because I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Oh, I finally got to watch it today," and I'm like, okay.
People are still trickling in, yeah.
But the end credit scene, and there is one. I still don't know when people leave in Marvel movies. It's just stupid. But at the payoff of the end credit scene, I was the only person in the audience to react. Because nobody got it.
That was stupid.
Ah, no, it wasn't. How dare! All right, we'll talk.
It opened so many doors.
We'll talk.
Yeah, so many plot hole doors.
Wow.
Oh no, I don't think so. We've got something to explain that coming later. Anyway, hey, go see Infinity War once, twice, or 3 times a movie. But let's get into some of the gaming headlines.
Highest grossing film of all time
For now.
for opening
guys,
weekend.
Yeah.
Just gonna toss in a quick E3 prediction on that note. I want to see Crystal Dynamics premiere their Avengers game.
Oh, totally agree.
Oh yeah.
Totally agree. I don't know what version it's going to be. They teased that it was going to be a little bit more MCU than comic booky, so I wonder what
sure it will be.
sort of form it's going to take.
Disney wants to make money.
Yeah,
Get all those people.
the money. Let's take a look first at this Shadow of the Tomb Raider teaser trailer. This is coming out this year, and I think my favorite thing about it is that as a PlayStation user, is that for the first time in this new Tomb Raider's existence, it's going to be coming out same day as Xbox One. So the console exclusivity is gone for the most part, and it's for the whole part. What am I flipping saying? So it's launching day and date, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PS4. And while this isn't in engine, it still looks really flippin' cool.
And it does.
I mean, it better.
Now I know everybody at the table here has sort of a different experience, different degrees of experience with the new Tomb Raider franchise, but seeing this trailer, we've been hearing about Shadow of the Tomb Raider for a while, but does this make you more excited, less excited? Was this what you thought you were going to see? Does the shadow terminology make it super edgelordy? What are you thinking?
Maybe a little, but I'm kind of cool with it. I don't know. I've liked the hype that they've built up around this new Tomb Raider series. They've always done really fun stuff with it, and I think this will be a lot of the same, or more.
More of the same.
More, yeah.
And maybe a little bit more terrifying.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nate?
I don't know. I've never got the appeal of these games. They're not for me personally, so this doesn't really do anything for me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've played like a few of the demos. Is about as far as I like pizza. Remember the Pizza Hut sample discs?
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
So you're talking about OG Tomb Raider, not this new Tomb Raider.
Well, no, this one I played a demo too.
Okay.
Not this one, but the when the new one came out. Yes.
The last
I don't remember where I downloaded that one from, but probably just the PlayStation Store or whatever. Because I was curious. I mean, it looks good, but I just didn't. It didn't draw me in. It's just not. I don't know. It's just not for me. I can see why people like it. This trailer was really cool. It looks really good, but
there are trailers that come out like this that are super cinematic and not necessarily in engine, but ones that show the cinematic side that make me go, oh well, let's just do an animated movie then. Especially with there is the growing demand for huge sprawling single player games, and there's not a lot of time to play all of those things. So as somebody that wants to get into the Tomb Raider franchise, the movie, like it or not, was a sort of a jump start to get into the franchise. And then you look at a game like this that's going to be 20 to 30 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. That's a lot for a fall game, and they're trying to get ahead of the fall crunch by releasing in September 14th. But I hope that as a result of other games that are coming out this fall that we don't know yet, especially whenever Smash comes out, just because it's going to take over the flipping world, if this is going to get caught under the waves, and it's going to be Games for Gold next spring, and that's when people are going to play it.
here's a hot take.
No.
I don't think Smash is going to take over the world.
Hot take. We'll talk about that more because we're going to be talking about that later. We got a little bit about Fortnite. And Stacey, you're playing a little bit of Fortnite these days.
I have been a lot of it.
What do you think about all of these meteor, like the meteor shower speculation?
So I appreciate kind of the ever-evolving world of Fortnite, and I like that they are kind of consistently updating and keeping it kind of ridiculous while they do it.
Yeah.
The game is appealing to me as a battle royale game, which is not a genre that is appealing to me in general, because it's campy, because it's fun, because you can do silly things in it. And so I think they've done a really interesting job of building up all this hype. And there's been, people have spent hours theorizing about what's going on from when it was, oh, they're going to destroy Tilted Towers, to no, it's this location or this location. So I like that they are bringing this kind of interactive component to the game. And it almost feels kind of reminiscent of what Overwatch had been doing with all the data mining when they were introducing Sombra, getting people involved, getting people really passionate about what's going on. And I mean, when superheroes.
Well, that's the
theoretically.
They released this image. It's been slowly updating throughout the weekend, throughout the day. Like today, it had 4 images in it. But the rumor is that there's this meteor coming down, and there are going to be some superhero elements that are going to change and evolve the game. Presumably, I don't know how much of the single player versus the BR section of Fortnite, but superheroes?
Superheroes? I mean...
Cool!
Yeah. It's either aliens are coming down and the superheroes rise up to defend is a popular theory I've seen going on, or the superheroes are the aliens. Who knows at this point?
To me, though, if that will undeniably change the Battle Royale section of the game. If it's the single-player version of the game, I would recommend people just play Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, because that game type is multiple character types against a horde with various character traits. But then again, I know Engineer Steve is a big proponent of the single-player.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I got my constructor class leveled all the way up.
All the way up.
All the way up. It took months, guys.
Robbie in chat is saying, I believe this is for Battle Royale and not for Save the World.
Well, as it's part of the season, I mean, season 3 of the Battle Royale is ending tonight, and season 4, this is what they're teasing for season 4. So
So is it a change of game? Like,
I don't know that it's going to be a dramatic change of format,
costumes.
because I think it's more just what their theming of the costumes is going to be for this season. So what kind of cosmetics you're going to be able to pick up, what kind of silliness on that front. Although the meteors is a more interactive game element that actually affects the landscape. You have no control over it. A meteor comes down, takes out your fort.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have any say over that. So that's the first big in-game changing kind of.
So it's like a red zone?
Their version of a red zone.
I suppose it. Yeah.
Why didn't anybody say that?
Okay. No, that is. Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing.
it just happens to be able to destroy things because things are destructible in that game.
Well, I didn't think of it as an in-game thing. I thought of it as like an out-of-game. This is just going to change the map, and this is going to be another version of the map that is destroyed by meteors. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Well, that does seem like it's a possibility. But right now, if you logged in and played a round right now, you would have meteors falling onto structures.
Oh, okay.
Physically in game. That's a very recent thing, and I don't know if it's going to be a lasting thing. So like an ongoing red zone.
Might be like a launch event thing.
Right. I have a feeling it just is leading up to this event, and we may not see that same kind of activity.
And it only happens in the final circles, not throughout the entire game. And again, Robbie coming in clutch in chat. New skins, possible map changes, etc. All right, dig it. I'm about it. I mean, anytime I play Fortnite, it's a good time. But you're much more of a dedicated player of it than I am.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise!
I did not see that coming.
Speaking of dedicated players, hey, let's talk about WoW. Hey, Nate, are you excited for this next expansion?
Where did you find this story?
Polygon.
No, I
Duh.
okay.
But what do you mean? What do you mean?
I was just surprised.
Did I put it on?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear from your expertise because there are a lot of times when developers release a game and say, we don't care, this is how we wanted the game to be released, and only after a huge public outcry or a huge, hey, we want our money back, do things start to change. But Blizzard seems to have always been somebody that listens to the community as soon as possible to make things.
They've usually been very good with communication and like transparency.
It's more of a two-way street with Blizzard than it seems other companies.
Yeah, well, they've also gotten a lot better too. It was not always this way.
So the story is they changed the global cooldown period for almost every ability in WoW.
Do you know what that is?
After reading the article, I do.
Right.
But what is this change and how did it affect gameplay?
Okay, so for those who don't know, a global cooldown, if we're like speaking in games, like abilities have cooldowns, you use them, it takes some time for it. So a global cooldown is a cooldown that is applied to all of your abilities, so that after you use an ability, you have to wait before you can queue up another ability. So most spells in WoW are on a global cooldown. There are a few exceptions, which are usually like we call them cooldowns, but like these are buffs or debuffs that last for a short window of time that you activate to give you power bursts. These are usually not on global cooldowns, and also things like movement effects, lots of utility abilities through the years have become off global cooldown to allow people to set macros. So you hit one button and it does all these different things, and things of that nature. So this change, this isn't on live. This is just on the Battle for Azeroth alpha or I guess closed beta right now.
Yeah.
And they have at first they put everything on global cooldown, which a lot of people were not happy about. They've pulled it back off of some of the utility abilities and some of the mobility ones, but a lot of the buff cooldowns are still staying on the GCD. So as far as gameplay, it definitely slows the game down in a way. I haven't played with it, so I can't really say what it's like.
Okay.
I've listened to a couple people talk about it. Some people are split. Some people hate it. Some people don't. I'm a little bit biased because I did play vanilla. When I played, everything was on GCD. That eventually, as the game patched, they changed it for this ability and these abilities, and then they did class reworks. And so it's funny because some people are like, in one hand, everybody cries for classic and like we want this, and then they're getting something more like that, but then they're complaining about it because I don't know. It's interesting. It gives you the idea that they've explained through the design they did on the Q&A a few days ago is that they want players to have more choices when they do things. They want it to be active choices instead of just, here's what I'm going to do, and like I've got 4 macros and I just push them over and over again, which I get because the game has kind of felt like that for me. Okay. I don't know. I feel like this affects PvP players a lot more than PvE players.
Yeah.
in most PvE like raid scenarios, you know when you need to use an ability. You know, oh, this is the DPS phase. Get ready to pop your Bloodlust. This is when you have to dodge the ability. Get ready to use your sprint. Whatever. In PvP is where it's much more reactionary. You know, I just got charged by the warrior and I'm hamstrung. I need to blink away, or else he's gonna want to strike me. Things like that.
For a second there, I thought you were just talking about Destiny.
Oh, we'll get there. How dare you? But you mentioned it. Do you think this was a way to appeal to vanilla players? Maybe people that have fallen off from early days?
No, I don't think that's the goal at all. I think I think in general they're just trying to. I think Legion, the last expansion, they fixed a lot of things that were wrong with the previous expansion with Warlords of Draenor. And I think they're not resting on their laurels. They're still trying to improve the game drastically. They're not trying to just settle for content drops with here's some more stuff to do. They want to invent new systems. They want to get players to come back like they did for Legion, but then also to stay, not to get a huge drop off. So they're looking to try to add more replayability in the game. They want classes to be more distinct. Like they want each class to be good at something and bad at something, and not have like, well, this guy is, you know, druids can do all that stuff. So they want each class to have a reason why you would bring a warlock, why you would bring a mage, instead of just
diversify. Instead
of fire mages top DPS, so we've got 4 fire mages, and there's no reason to bring a warlock because fire mage is the best ranged DPS. There's no reason.
Okay.
Whereas they want, like, let's say warlocks are better damage over time, or fire mages are more burst, and then arcane is more utility. Frost is the slow PvP class, things like that, which I think is very good for the game. But also, a game like this, anytime you make drastic changes, you're always going to get people complaining.
I think it's going to be a fade. Like right now, they cut directly to, hey, this is what we want it to be, and then to sort of test the limits, and then they'll slowly start to bring it back up.
Well,
probably.
Blizzard is part of the reason why their stuff always comes out so polished is they test stuff. They test it in-house over and over and over again. Then they do their closed beta. Then they start inviting, you know, all the personalities and like the YouTubers who've been playing WoW for 10 years and have these massive followings, and like people respect their opinion. So they do their due diligence for sure. But I will say they have definitely been sticking to their guns more as they've been doing these Q&As. Especially, they did it a lot for the Legion drop cycle, but even more so for this dev cycle. They are like, even if they can tell that a lot of people are disagreeing with what they're saying, they will still at least present why they're doing that and what their goals are and stuff. And I'm finding it very refreshing here.
And you're gonna go back to Battle for Azeroth at least?
Yeah, I already bought it.
Okay. So excited to hear what you think about it, legitimately, because WoW has always been one of those. I mean, I could try. I have a free weekend. I could just try, and I'm just trying to pull back for it. But speaking of having a free weekend and not wanting to do anything about it, hey, Destiny 2 released their new Warmind trailer. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we did the first deep dive spoiler cast show that we did. The only one that we did was about Destiny 2, and we talked a lot about some of the famous families when it came to Destiny 2. Sorry, Stacey, enjoy your break. But the interesting thing, the thing that got me about this trailer and being a fan of the world of Destiny 2 was the fact that it opened on this young woman with her ghost talking about the Warmind, talking about the moon and the hive and the this and the that and the whatever. And we see Bray on her identity card, like next to a picture of her. And it's like, oh, well, this is about the Bray family. And the lore part, I'm afraid that it might get me again after the last one being about Osiris, and then be like, well, this is kind of garbage, isn't it? I don't know, man. What do you can play it while we're talking about it. Just go ahead. This one we get audio. But Nate, what do you think?
Aren't supposed to investigate.
My bar is very, very low.
So you're ready for a surprise?
No.
Okay.
I'm ready for the same thing as I'm. It's gonna be this.
What is it? Is it the fact that, do you think like they're really reaching, like they're like that moment where they showed her and she's a Bray?
Yeah,
like,
it's cool. It's just that this is not. I am almost 100% certain that all of this was in development. You know, at launch. Like
sure.
So like, this is still more of the bad Destiny, in my opinion, that we haven't, that like even down to the features. They're the horde mode they're adding, the endless wave thing. It's just Court of Oryx. Like you're giving us the stuff from the first game that we told you we already liked in the sequel a year later.
Yeah,
like it's I don't know. I'm still really.
So it's really not until we see the next set of updates, like the what was the first major update to Destiny 1, with the Oryx raid?
The Taken King.
No. The one with his boy, his son. Sorry.
Oh, Crota's End.
Crota's, yeah. So
Dark Below.
Yeah. All of that, the first sort of major refresh of the game. We go, it's all different now. I'm excited. We're going back to the Hive because I don't think we never really saw too much of an upgrade with the Hive. Like there's the one new type that we got at launch, but really nothing yet. So like the story, and I agree. This in terms of story, the threads have been there since the beginning. There's that secret room that you had to like jump to and get in, and it had the Bray journal in there. All the stuff was redacted, and that got me super hype. I remember sitting here and talking to Neil, who was a Destiny historian, and getting super hype about the possibilities. And now that this is sort of like the final chapter before we get into real sort of change mode. So I think that's a good harbinger of what's to come. You were talking before the show. You and Steve were talking about the what do they call it? Bungie invited all of the like top players and streamers in the summit and
Save Our Game Summit.
The Save Our Game Summit. Was there anything from that stood out to you?
I mean, they haven't really talked about much what they talked about there.
Yeah,
it's just been kind of like we went and we talked to them. They like just confirmation that it happened. Unless I haven't seen the details, but
I haven't seen anything that came out of it either.
All that I've seen is people saying that a lot of it is like keep your mind open. They're trying to listen, but also keep in mind that none of this is going to be in Warmind. So
but that makes me wonder what the period in between Warmind and the next update we get, how much of that is going to be in there as well.
And how much will it cost?
$40, right?
I'm not going to pay them to fix their game. I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Do you think they'll try to get?
I paid full price for the game plus the collector's edition. Plus, I bought the DLC already. Can I just get a working game with the features that was in the
first
game
one?
This is a sequel to?
Wait, you mean in the second season pass? They'll get to that, right?
Maybe the third.
All I'm saying is this summit timing is awful convenient for the end of the DLC pass, and like they're saying, well, it's not going to be on this one. Well, it's going to be in the next one then, and the next one's not in the past, which means we're going to have to pay for it unless it's free. If it's free, great. Excellent.
I think
good choice, Bungie.
If that would be a good announcement. Because this was all stuff that people had already paid for. Like I'm getting this because I paid for it when the game first came out. But if after this they're like, all right, we're done with that for a while. We're just going to be going off of the emote store or the silver and all of that stuff and bright engrams and stuff like that. Then they'd probably get a lot of good people back on their side or a lot of bad people back on their side.
Apparently, they're letting all of the PvP maps be playable, even if you don't have the DLC.
That's a start.
Maybe they're heading in the right direction.
Maybe,
but we'll see.
I mean, it's still got some of the best gameplay in the business for what it's worth, and it is still worth something, in my opinion.
But not if nobody's playing it, and honestly, that's why I'm 6 of one, half dozen of another, because that move could be them. Yeah, we want everybody to be able to play the game. Or it's we can't afford to split the player base between people who bought the DLC and people who didn't because there's not enough people playing our game. Yeah, you think you're slick, Bungie,
huh? Let's move on from there. Hey, Nate, you put on some fresh league updates, Dab. That's for shout out to our audio listeners. You missed a pretty dank dab.
It's beautiful.
Kill me. Tell us a little bit about the new stuff coming to League.
Well, Mark.
Thank you, Nate.
There's changes. Back to you. No, they've announced some changes for the ranked season for next year. They're splitting it up into 3 different splits. You will get rewards at the end of each split, as opposed to just like one reward cumulative at the end of the year. But there will be little soft resets, but not hard resets in between. The big thing, though, is they're changing the ranking system so that you will have a rank individual to your role, to the lane that you play.
Okay.
This is a big for a couple different reasons.
This is one big.
So for most people that play League, you either play one role usually, or two is better. Some people play more. Most people who do play more are not really good at the one or two. Usually they're just kind of like mediocre at a few. But I think it's good, because one of the frustrating things about playing this game when I'm trying to play with people that are of different skill levels is it's like, I want to play with my friends, we're going to have a good time, whatever. But if I'm playing with my friend that's not as good as me, he's a rank below me or whatever, and he gets laned against the person that I should be laning against, he's going to get destroyed, right? So this idea that they're going to be matching lanes up to what their rank is interesting. I think it should bring more balance around in the games. I don't know what it's going to do for queue times. There is still going to be an autofill option to fill people into spots, so I don't know how that's going to play out. They have said that when you're playing on your non-main role, that you'll get like some type of a bonus, because the idea is they don't want people to be like, well, I'm a top main, so I don't care about, I got support this game, so I'm just going to troll because I don't care. It's like the idea of it splitting up the ranks is like, well, now all of a sudden the games where you're not playing top lane, let's say if you're a top lane main, now do you care about those? Do you still try? So them trying to incentivize that is interesting. I don't know. It's kind of drastic. I don't know.
It seems like they're trying to make the game more playable for everybody, regardless.
They are, but I think they're not massively, but kind of hemorrhaging. I think the game has been not in a great state for a while, and they've been trying lots of, in my opinion, wild balance changes to try to figure out what they can do. I think this is part of that. I like the idea of, I like it in theory. I just don't know how it's going to play out. There's some more interesting changes too with like new player stuff. They're working on an auto buy system to kind of help people learn how to buy in the game. They're working on a new tutorial, also like letting earlier players have access to things, stuff like that. So theoretically, with changes like that, along with the lane changes, it should increase skill overall, which theoretically should be a good thing. Yeah. Should make the games more playable, more strategic and less snowbally. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. There's some jungle changes that they pushed through a couple of days ago in the PBE, and then also today they made some pretty drastic changes to the way crit works in the game, which is going to completely change a lot of the AD carry meta, what items they build. It's gonna be interesting. See what happens. And it's weird too that they're doing this, because season 8 hasn't really ended yet. It's near the end, but seasons usually end in like fall. So they're making a lot of these changes that are usually big preseason patch changes pretty early into the cycle, which is why I think it's kind of reactionary.
Starting out, yeah, it seems pretty reactionary. The next thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, we're sort of ending the show with a big old Nintendo bit. Nintendo has named their next president, Tatsumi Kimishima, who took over after the untimely death of Nintendo's last president, Sakurai. Oh, can I not? Nope, that's not his name. I totally blanked. Satoru Iwata. I can't believe I blanked on his name. After he died in July 2015, they brought Kimishima up, and Kimishima has been the head of Nintendo for the Switch launch, which has been very successful. They announced a really hot success rate for the Switch. They also mentioned that Super Mario Odyssey has sold over 10.4 million copies since October. The new president, which is going to be taking office June 29th, is a man by the name of Shintaro Furukawa, who currently runs Nintendo's global marketing department, which I think is a great move. If there's somebody who's been in charge of how the company looks to the entire world, Great way to put him up. But he's going to be entering the age at around the same time that Iwata did, and so I think that's a nice way of similar mindset. Iwata came from a little bit of a similar background to Furukawa, and I think we'll get a similar sort of fun performance-y bit from him. But yeah, I'm excited for Nintendo. It's going to be a fun time. They also announced what their E3 plans are going to be. It's essentially going to be all about Smash. Big surprise. And the fact that they're focusing so much on Smash makes me feel like it's going to be more than just an adaptation or a HD re-release, if you will, of the Smash on the Nintendo Wii U. They're going to have their E3 Direct that's going to air on Tuesday, and then the thing they've been doing the past couple of years is the Nintendo Treehouse Live, and the first subject of that you're gonna tune in right after the Direct, and you're gonna see more on Smash. And it looks like their entire booth is going to be about Smash. It's going to be playable. Nate, you mentioned earlier in the show you don't think that this Smash is going to take over the world.
I think it's going to be big.
Nintendo's certainly going to try, but what is it going to be? Not just that you can take Smash with you on the go because it's the Switch, but what do you think the big sort of marketing ploy is going to be for this Smash Brothers?
It's definitely going to be the take this and you can do this wherever you are with your friends. Is going to be the like, oh, you're at a party with your boys drinking, and they're like, yo, I'll wreck you, Fox, no items only. It'd be like, yeah, right now. Whip it out, throw it on the table, pop the controllers out. Which, of course, everyone's going to roll their eyes because no one's going to play with those controllers, the Joy-Cons.
Not just the Pro Controller. Nobody plays free Joy-Cons? That's so silly to me. Why not?
Come on.
I will say, I did like on the Wii version I played with Wii Remote and Nunchuck. There were some characters that I played better with that control scheme than I did with the GameCube controller. But yeah,
I respect you less.
When have you ever respected me, Stacey? What do you think the killer? What's going to make this version of Smash Brothers the killer app for the Switch?
See, because for me, the portability is really cool, but not necessarily for Smash, because Smash is where you get a full group of people and you sit down and you guys all just try to wreck each other and ruin, your family, which is how it went in my family constantly. So, while that is cool, yeah, you can throw it down, but would you carry around extra controllers so you can have all 4 people playing? Or however many people?
You get the exclusive.
Just carry your controller on with you all the time.
Well, that's the thing.
Do they have like necklaces, and can we hang them as earrings? Can I have a full Nintendo Switch like accessory kit?
A necklace of fingers, but instead of fingers, it's Joy-Cons.
It's just Joy-Cons. Like, all right, here we go.
Just tear it off, rip it off. Here.
2 cons.
Why not?
That was my 2 chains, but instead of chains, he's got 2 Joy-Cons.
2 cons.
Oh boy.
I got 2 cons.
So that's who they're going to have introduce Smash in this.
Now, if they do that.
2 chains is not playable. 2 chains. I don't know. Why not?
If they, Did you ever play the Def Jam fighting game?
I love the Def Jam. It was a wrestling game, of course. Or are you talking about Icon? Or because Icon was garbage. You mean the good ones?
Vendetta. Right?
Vendetta and Fight for New York.
Yeah.
Which one is
Icon was the one for the PS3 that took away the fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, not that one.
No.
The ones on PS2 and GameCube. Oh yeah. Fight for New York was my jam.
I don't understand why somebody's not doing that right now.
Because
all these rappers are so hot. There's there's so many.
Because Icon's failed.
Every week there's like a new Lil Yachty pack. New fighters enter the ring. Lil Xan. Like there's come at me. So much money. Come on, guys. It's free ideas right here.
I think it might just be getting all of the labels together for it.
You just got to get the money.
That's the thing. You got to get the money.
Or you just do knockoffs. Lendrick Jamar.
That's way too on the nose.
No.
They'll never know.
Not at all.
They'll never know it's Bow Wow.
Wouldn't that be something?
Lol.
I have no idea.
See, I went too far.
Yeah, a little bit too
Yeah.
far.
B Cole.
Oh,
There we
be
go.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Or you do a Kickstarter. Can you imagine a Kickstarter with all of? I mean, pretty wild. There was somebody did kickstart a PC redo of the old Aki wrestling games like No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, but it was just non-branded. They just wanted to make it HD and with the same sort of mechanics. So I don't see why somebody can't do that with I mean, technically the fight for New York or the Def Jam Vendetta style was pretty similar.
Yeah, but so the problem with that is the novelty was the cool part about those games, not the gameplay. The gameplay was okay. It was good. It was fun, but it's not like, oh my god, I have that. Like if you took that gameplay and stripped it of 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes and
that's why
Method
Icon
Man.
failed. That's why Icons failed
Yeah.
because it had the personalities, but the system wasn't there. But really quick, we had Chosker AMR said 8-player Smash. We had that in the last one, so. Could they go bigger? Should they go bigger than
Yes.
Not
I mean,
a-
that sounds terrible
That sounds-
and wonderful.
Sounds terrible.
Quick to jump in on that idea. Would they ever consider doing something like a Royal Rumble where they just get like all the characters in there and do some kind of
Well, they do.
single
Well,
player Survivor?
they do. They do. Some, like for Smash It.
Battle Royale.
Yeah. Well, but, oh god.
God.
But they have.
I'm
There's an endless mode where they just kept sending like characters, and you have to last as long as you can. There's ones where it's like versus 50 nothing characters that slowly increase in difficulty. They had versions of that. Chosker AMR also says, "How about transfer your Pokemon to Smash?" That would be a little ridiculous.
Can we just bring back Pokemon Stadium?
Yeah,
That's what I need in my
Pokemon
life.
Stadium with the HAL fighting like engine. That I'd be about that. I'd be
Yeah.
all about that. I mean, I don't know what Nintendo would do other than the portability because that's the big selling point.
And the characters. I mean, for me, if they introduce some new characters
Mm-hmm.
that you get to, mess around with, then that's what would be exciting to me. And, we were
Like,
talking about it earlier.
Unique characters? Or?
No, just from
Okay.
different,
Okay, okay.
from different franchises that we already love and be like, how exciting was it to have Kirby fight Pikachu for the first time? Or so more matchups like that just make it interesting.
And hell did freeze over last Smash where we got Bayonetta, we
Sonic.
got Ryu, we got Sonic was two ago, Snake was 2 ago, but Ryu, Sonic, even Pac-Man,
Cloud.
a Cloud. Dear God, like, are those licenses still valid? How much is Nintendo going to pay to get those licenses back? Are we going to see a new Final Fantasy character, a different Street Fighter character?
Ooh.
Oh,
Are we
it's
gonna
got
get-
something.
Sora.
Sora's been a pretty big
Right, though?
rumor. I was going to say Leon.
I didn't even think about that
from
till
Final
now,
Fantasy
but
IX.
that actually
Leon would be good.
probably is going to happen. Because the only reason why they put, no, they never put Noctis in, right?
No,
They
Noctis-
should have, though.
Well, but that's too recent.
You never know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
no, for a previous Smash.
yeah, from a previous one,
Right.
but it depends on
Previous one.
But they
what
put
they're.
Cloud in. What were they promoting with that?
Cloud. I mean, yeah, I guess
Money?
that kind of he was in the Kingdom Hearts series to an extent,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that was a direct correlation. I wouldn't say so.
Star Drew says Chun-Li. That's a great pick. But that's the thing is like, what of these wild franchises that we haven't? Did you see that? I just made a new Nightbot command.
I know
What like amazing all-time great game franchises have we not seen a character from? I think they're gonna pull out all of the stops to make this Smash. Like, I don't care what fighting game you have. DB Fighters, I don't care. Tekken, I don't care. Street Fighter, we had one. We did it. I think this would be a place for Bomberman to, like another Namco character because
Soul
Soul Calibur.
The Soul Calibur game is coming out.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
coming out in the fall. They have to
It
compete I think pretty directly against them.
We get a Red Dead. What's his name?
John Marston.
Marston.
Oh, that's another thing. We're getting a Red
That'd
Dead
be
trailer
awesome.
later
That'd
this
never
week.
happen, but that would
No.
be awesome.
Not at all. Chosker wants Master Foot.
Still holding out for Dragonborn.
Are there any wrestling games out for the Switch?
Yeah, 2K18, but the port was terrible. There is a sort of an indie version of Smash Brothers. I even forget what it's called, but they have Hyper Light Drifter and Juan from Guacamelee in it. And I was so close to getting it, but as soon as the Smash announcement came out, I was like, I'll just wait.
I was gonna say, 'cause what if
Spider-Man.
they got like an actual wrestler into the game?
No, God, no.
What if
Spider-Man.
they got like an actual wrestler into the game?
No, God, no. I actually think Dragonborn is possible, or Doom Guy, or just
I think there's hope.
Dragonborn's probably the most likely out of BJ Blazkowicz and Doom Guy.
I mean, probably.
But yeah, that would be metal as hell. And the Nintendo version of the Dragonborn theme.
Although, can I just say, BJ Blazkowicz about that?
Oh God.
Although probably
lines
not
would be
gonna
like,
happen. Yeah.
It's just beeps. Almost just as good as maybe Dark Souls. If the people think that Solera of Astoria is coming because he has an amiibo, and the effect in Dark Souls is so lame because it's just wherever you are, you tap it and stops and he praises the sun and that's it.
Is that lame though? Is it?
Not to Dark Souls fan.
I mean, well, imagine all of the kids like playing, and their little brother grabs the amiibo and like just goes and pulls in like the middle of a boss fight or something
What
like
do you
that.
mean, little brother? That would be
Yeah,
me.
that would be you. Yeah. Robbie says wants to put the Ultimate Karate Master into Super Smash Brothers. SpongeBob SquarePants. No. I think we might actually. Sort of a little bit of an off topic, but not really. The latest Splatfest, which is something that happens in Splatoon, where people have to pick like one or the other, and they fight. They join a team and they fight based on that team. Is about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series, and they have exclusive costumes based on what team you want to represent. For Mikey, Donnie, Raph, or Leo, and. We saw them in Injustice, even though it made a little bit more sense there. They might pop up in Smash.
They're throwing them in
Who
everything.
knows? We got Cloud, for God's sake. Anything can happen. It's weird. We want to know who you want for Super Smash Brothers, because it's one of those talking points that just won't die. Leave in the comments down below or find us individually on Twitter. We're going to throw those out in just a second. But I'm really excited for E3 this year. I really hope that they make it a little bit more accessible than really expensive ticket prices, because we're trying to get to the Xbox, the EA. We're trying to get to a lot of things, but hopefully Nintendo also maybe they do the same thing they've been doing the past couple of years, where they just have it available across the country at various locations. Either way, I don't think we'll have to wait too long for Smash. Even if it is their fall game, that's not very long. No. Actually, I wonder if we'll get something like Bayonetta, where, hey, Bayonetta 3 is coming eventually, but you can play 1 and 2 in like 2 months. So I did see a theory where somebody says we get both last generation Smash and the new Smash in the same year. God, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of Nintendo money.
That is.
Is there anything else about E3 that y'all have any sort of an idea, a hope, a dream, whether it's Nintendo or not? Stacey, is there something that you want to see?
There was a story that we didn't talk about. Let me come back to me.
Nate,
I just
is there
saw
something
it.
at E3 that you want to see?
Not really. I'm
Cool.
just kind of there's so much stuff, and I just let the news come to me. You know what I mean? They're spending so much money to get it to me. I'm not gonna do too much.
Let them do their job.
Yeah, they spent all that money on the marketing. I'll wait until I'm scrolling Facebook and see on the side, oh, IGN says somebody so and so is announcing such and such at E3, and then I'll be like, yay!
Beautiful.
Or I'll be like, why are they making that?
Did you find what you're looking for, Stacey?
Yeah. Okay. So CD Projekt Red,
I'm familiar.
the RPG that they are going to be presenting at E3. We don't know. It is unconfirmed, but they are bringing an RPG to E3, and I guess the ongoing theory is that it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay. Did they say what sort of a scope or platforms? They just said they're bringing an RPG?
For PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
I was going to say, because it could be a mobile cop-out of some sort of, like, 8-bit Witcher.
Oh, no, it
coming.
seems to be an actual console platform.
For release this year?
Or at least for announcement.
For announcement.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the very least.
The confirmation.
Yeah, we'll get another teaser trailer.
30 seconds.
Most likely.
I mean,
a minute and a half.
E3 is all hype moments, man. Like, I think...
It's a commercial.
Yeah, it's a huge commercial. We're going to get probably an announcement for God of War story DLC. maybe some Last of Us 2, maybe a date or a year. Maybe finally a date, not just like, hey, we're working on it, but another. Yeah, there's probably a lot. I think we'll see something Halo this year, begrudgingly.
Didn't you think that last year too, though?
Well, Halo Wars 2 had either just come out or was about to come out. So, but I think maybe we'll finally see like a new first-party franchise that won't be canceled. No promises on it not being canceled. I bought an Xbox One for Scalebound. But let us...
You didn't buy it for a Mac?
Disappointing.
Oh, no, that's the PS4 game.
Wow.
That's my bad.
You tried.
This is it's a strike one.
Excuse me, I'm not a console gamer.
You're not a gamer. You're not a real gamer.
No, we're not the real gamers. We play on.
Yeah, that's true. I played Pokemon Go all week. People hate me. Miss Rose wants to see indie games at E3. I agree. It's a place where you may see a game here. There's so many on Steam, but then they sort of curate them for either console release or just people that have a chance to really. What was it? Devolver Digital last year did their speed, and it was just terrifying. Looking forward to more of that. Let us know what you're looking forward to. You can find us on Twitter. Let us know what you're playing, where the folks can find you on Twitter, and we'll see you next week. Nate.
I will be playing some League and some Hearthstone this week. I'm going to be going out of town, so I'll be on the plane, and I'll also be finishing my Fire Emblem game.
The mobile one?
Oh, I thought I told you. I downloaded a Game Boy emulator.
Oh, that's right.
It's illegal. Don't do it. Yeah, it's really fun. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate. Hit me up. We'll play some games.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey there, Mark.
Hey.
So you guys find me all over the web at Stacey Shuttles. I'm going to be powering through Far Cry 5, especially since I made Robbie buy it. So now we're co-oping it.
Co-op, mofs.
Because I want to do more really silly things, and you need a partner to do really silly things.
Yes, you do.
I'll probably also be throwing in a few more hours for the Overwatch event to get all my skins tonight.
Mm-hmm. I hope if I can, I might be doing like a last pass on a writing project. But I would like to play a little bit more Overwatch tonight too. But you can follow Patrick at P to the D's. He will keep talking about God of War. I know him, and I know he's doing a lot of traveling, so he might be playing a lot of Switch games. So you might see some unabashed Switch opinions from him. And you can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Depending on how that writing session or that check session goes tonight, I might stream tomorrow. But if it goes really well, I won't stream tomorrow. Finally coming into some time a little bit before I have to go into another project. So I don't know if I want to burden myself with streaming God of War because I'll just want to play it. But I'll find something else to play. Minecraft's always fun, but maybe something a little bit more dynamic than me building a giant floor, because that's what I've been doing in Minecraft. But Stardrew asks, can you stream more Far Cry?
I can stream more Far Cry.
Hey!
That's
I have
the
a
thing
challenge
I
for
can do.
you, okay?
Oh boy.
I need you guys to get both of you in a plane, right?
Yeah.
One of you jumps out the plane, pulls a parachute, and the other one has to come around, and you gotta land on the plane. It's possible.
Ooh.
Oh boy. That sounds fun.
I can't wait
and
to
terrible. I'm gonna die a lot.
watch
Yeah,
you gotta
be
you gotta
ready for those
yeah,
clips.
you gotta slow
It's a
down
good
because
time.
if you hit the plane too fast, you will die.
You will
So
die.
30 attempts later.
Robbie
But
will
once you do it though, think of how fulfilled you'll be.
This
Robbie
is true.
says
No,
he'll,
we'll
You have
get
a
that deep in.
sense of achievement, right? That's
Robbie
what
says
the
he'll
EA
fly the
words.
plane, so
Oh,
don't
yeah.
worry
That's
about it.
comforting.
You're jumping.
Yeah, that's actually probably better because if I flew the plane, we would never manage.
And thank you so much to the fine folks here at Popcorn Talk. You can find them on Twitter at The Popcorn Talk. They give us a studio every week to talk about video games. And for those of you who are watching not live, we actually had a pre-stream of about 10-15 minutes where we just kind of talked about an extra story, a little bit about Infinity War, a little bit about MOBAs in general. So if you want that extra little bit of time, make sure to go on Twitch at twitch.tv/inventoryfullpt. Subscribe with Twitch Prime. That'll get you a couple of extra features that we're padding out right now. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to any Twitch account for free. Right now, if you subscribe, you get a Stacy emote, which has all of the wonder of climbing mountains.
I do like climbing
She does like
mountains
climbing mountains.
a lot.
But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Inventory Full. We will see you next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.